Yes, we are live. Good evening, Mr. Tefa, and welcome to you and our correspondents and reporters all across the country. Today is another wonderful, exciting day that we will have another class. It's a 15th session, and I think it calls for celebration that we've gone so far from our first training session to the 15th. I think it amounts to something that we've achieved so much. We've learned so many things, and we've had Mr. Tefa be with us from that beginning of the journey till this day. It's such uh, a good moment to witness, I must say. And thank you too, as well, to
Thank you.
our members, the correspondents in different states, and the campus reporters. It means a lot to our organization, Three Piece Media, that you've been a part of this from the inception till now. A good evening to Mohammed, a good evening to Chudung, Rita, Samuel, Okute. These are the people that I can see their names right now, as they are also sending us greetings in uh, the comment section. Thank you so much for being a part of today. We appreciate your time. And just like I said earlier, today is our 15th session, and it's wonderful that we have you all. So, a couple of things before we proceed with the class today. Just like I said, it's our 15th session, and we must understand that it's from the first class up till now. Mr. Tefa has taken us on various subjects or various aspects of broadcasting and the business of media, which is going to be very invaluable in your contribution or in your work with us, with our organization, and what we do, for you to be a part of it. So I must commend you all, just like I said, but I understand that some people couldn't make it for some days, or some days were skipped. You couldn't be a part of it for one reason or another. I would encourage that you go through the YouTube page, which is always streamed live. Even if it is streamed live, you couldn't make it. It's always very important that you go back there to watch some of the videos that Mr. Tefa has painstakingly taken his time to deliver to us. So while that is said, I must encourage you as well to fill your attendance form, which is always a pinned comment in our comment session, live comment session here. It's very important because that is one of the criterias we will be using in judging or looking forward to people that we're going to be picking or walking forward as we proceed with this. Also, needless to remind you that you should follow us on all our social media platforms. We run two media outfits concurrently, which is Afro Connect TV and Ecstasy TV. I'm sure this is not the first time you are hearing about the two. Mr. Tef has mentioned it severally during his session with us. Afro Connect TV is TV that we run our news, broadcast, coverage of international events, our coverage of what have you that we do with majorly on news and broadcasting. Then Ecstasy TV is where we have our entertainment um, broadcast, where we broadcast shows. And I'm sure if you're familiar with it, you've seen some of the shows that I anchor, or some of the shows that my colleagues in the studio also anchor. And I believe I have given a brief understanding of what we are doing today. And before I allow Mr. Tefa to proceed with the lecture, well, should I say we're fortunate to be joined today with HR, um, in the person of Mr. Jude. Is going to be coming up shortly to speak with us, and I want you all to listen attentively while he disseminates the information he has for us. But before I do that, welcome Tuna, welcome Edidion, welcome Ejoga, welcome to you all. We appreciate your time here. Mr. Tefa, I'll yield the mic to the HR. He will come in a minute time to have his uh, a brief conversation with us today. And we also understand, before you come in, please let me remind that we sent out some flyers to some states for our co- program that we wanted to do. It's still in progress. While we're still putting that on hold, there are a lot of things that have been put in place to ensure that this contest that we are planning is done the right way. So please, if you have the flyers, do well to share it to people, connect to them, make sure that they are, I mean, preach the gospel of what we want to do to them, because that is one of your responsibilities with us today. So it's very important that you share that with them. And for those of you who do not have that for now, please let us know through the mail or through the WhatsApp comments, uh, which will always be open for you to send in your comments to. So thank you for that. And also, I'm aware that we have some people have some concerns that has to do with perhaps the payments for the time that you've been here online. We are not ignoring all of that. We are seeing your comments, and we're working hard to ensure that we collate all of them together and prepare them to ensure that those that are participants in all of our events do not miss out when we are giving the payments to you all. So we appreciate your patience and understanding so far. Mr. Tefa, I think we're running a bit late for the HR to join us for this. So if you could just give a little brief of today's class before I usher in the HR to give us, because I'm not sure you would be able to wait till the end of today's class before he can come in. So perhaps you could maybe a recap of what has happened so far, whatever information you'd like to give them before I usher in the HR.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Welcome,
trainees, to
trainees, to.
um, another session. So, just like Adewale said, I should at least put something across to you before the HR comes on board to deliver whatever he has to say. Um, See, I have always encouraged all of you to remain steadfast in this training. You are supposed to be extremely grateful to Three Piece Media for organizing a wonderful training like this free of charge, because a training like this, people pay a lot of money to get. I remember paying 150,000, to get to trainings like this. So you are privileged. Even 250 have paid for trainings like that. So you have to be very
Very
grateful to
grateful to
Trippies
Trippi's
Media for
media for
organizing this
organizing
type of
this type
training.
of training.
So just
So
continue
just
to be
continue to be
strong
strong
and
and
remain
remain
steadfast,
steadfast,
because you
because
won't
you won't
regret
regret
the
the
sacrifices you may
sacrifices you
make
may
and
make
other
and
things
other
that you
things
may
that you may
commit to
commit
this
to this
training.
training.
So just
So
keep
just keep
being
being
punctual, keep
punctual, keep
practicing what
practicing
has
what
been
has
taught.
been taught.
Where you
Where
find
you find
difficulties, you can
difficulties, you
still
can
ask
still ask
questions
questions
concerning
concerning
areas of
areas of
difficulties, and
difficulties, and
appropriate
appropriate
answers will be
answers will be
provided
provided
for you
for
to
you to
continue in
continue in
whatever task
whatever task
you
you
uh, might be
might
on.
be on. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Tefa, for that words of encouragement. And I'll give the
Yes,
mic to the HR who is going to take up for the next few minutes before you commence with the lecture. Thank you.
I,
Hi,
you're welcome.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Good evening, Mr. Tefa. Can
Yes,
you
good
hear me?
Yes, good
evening.
evening.
Good to see you again.
Yes, happy to see
Yes,
you
happy to see
too.
you too.
Yeah, good evening. The correspondents, I say a very good evening to you all. Uh, Once again, I want to say a very big thank you for your patience. I want to say a very big thank you to Mr. Tefa. He's been doing a wonderful job. Even throughout the period I have not been around, I have been watching you guys live from wherever my location has been. And excellently, you have performed so well. And I'm also
Thank
sending
you very
my
much.
shout outs to all the correspondents who have steadfastly been available for these lectures or sessions. I want to appreciate you. Just like we always say, knowledge is knowledge. Knowledge is power. And before you get to any level, you must have that knowledge, no matter how small the knowledge is. And I think for these sessions we have had, those who have been serious with this training, I know you must have achieved a lot, which even if you had paid, you wouldn't be given the quality of what you are receiving. So I want you guys to, you know, appreciate Three Piece Media Limited to have brought this to your doorstep. We have, from our own part, been trying so hard to see that we keep this training going on, and to this level we have achieved. We know very well that a lot of you would also be smiling at the end of this training. I appreciate you guys. From the office, the headquarters of Three Piece Media Limited, we want to appreciate Mr. Tefa once again. I say, Mr. Tefa, thank you so much. We
You're
appreciate you.
welcome, sir.
Thank you. Now, to my amiable correspondents, I greet you all. I personally greet you all. You guys have done well over the time. I know that a lot of you have left. Just like I will always say, many are called, few are chosen. The reason why they left, well, it's left for them. Because everyone who has participated here, I am very, very sure that he or she would have stories to tell. Now, back to your reports we've been receiving, and the editors are really working so hard on them to see that they take the ones they could filter. Just like Mr. Tefa would always tell you, news, there are different kinds of news. So if you get the
Yes.
one that is not okay, we'll keep it somewhere. The one that is okay, we filter it, and then it becomes very useful to achieve the aim for this training. So from the beginning, we said, if you are serious, you're going to go home with a lot of things. If you are not serious, just like those who have left, they have also left. And I don't think any of us has any regret for that. Now, we came up because we told you from the beginning there are a lot of activities outlined throughout this your training. We sent out flyers to most of you who sent in their locations for us to send flyers to you. And I was expecting that each one of you who have received those flyers will make me a weekly report on how many people you have been able to talk to, how many people you have been able to talk to register for the contest. And I have not gotten any one of you telling me how many people you have registered. And then the most disheartening part of it is that there are some people we sent flyers to who up till now have not been able to go and pick up the flyers. It's very, very disheartening. Especially somebody like the person in Kaduna State. From the day the flyers left Abuja to Kaduna, they have remained where they are. Because the people kept calling back my number, because I wrote my number behind the parcel. They kept calling back my numbers. And even today, I was called and they told me that they were going to return back the flyers back to me in Abuja. So the lady that is in charge of Kaduna State, Hamza Rejoice Omoto Yosi, I spoke to her once. She said she has gone so far. She was somewhere, and she was going to get there. I said, okay. They said there's a charge that is tagged with those flyers. For you not to have picked them all this while, there's a charge. I said, okay, get to that place and call me, send me your account number so I could send money to you so that you could redeem or take those flyers away. It is more than 2 weeks. I have not heard anything from you. That is not a good one. That is not a good one. That is not a good one because it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you very, very well. You know, you were given an assignment and you failed to carry out the assignment. That's too bad. I don't know if Hamza Rejoice is still in this group. If she is, well, this message is for you. You have failed the company. You have failed three-piece media group by not carrying out your assignment. It cost us money to send those flyers to you. And in the first instance, if you knew you were not going to work or carry out instructions that were given to you, you wouldn't have sent in your location for us to send those flyers to you. They cost a lot. It's money we use in making them. So the company is not really happy with you. It's not happy with you. So if you are in this meeting, this is for you. And in Calabar, we also have Praise Otosi. Praise Otosi. She could not get to where the flyers. She could not share the flyers to people who were supposed to receive, but she took the flyers from there. So I'm very sure that she also took those flyers and probably dumped them somewhere. So if she's also among this team up till this moment, then she should know that the three-piece media group is not happy with her actions. And penalties to that will be meted out to you in due course. Before before this training runs out, you are going to hear from us because that is not good at all. And then I want to also assure you guys that everything we told you about, we are still going to keep to our promises. We told you that attendance was very mandatory and very important. It is that attendance that is going to show how serious you have been. So we are going to compile, which we have been compiling. At the end of every meeting, we compile the attendance. We have known how many people have attended for 10 times, 5 times, 2 times, 4 times, and as much as you can. We have already done that. At the end of your name, we have the number of times you have appeared and you have attended these lessons. So when all that is done, we are going to publish it out. You are going to see how many times you attended these lectures, these lessons, or these sessions, and we will not be blamed for whatever mishap you would go through because of that which you have done. So from the beginning, we say everything we do here is very, very important. The time, the money spent where you can hear us, we can hear you. It's all from Three-Piece Media Group. And so we want to, as we are getting closer to the end of our sessions, we are going to compile everything and we are going to let you know and have the results, both from your reports, both from your attendance, both from the lessons, even the questions you ask, they have marks that are accrued to them. The way you ask the questions shows whether you have understood what we've taught you or not. So all that we are really, really, really working back here in the office. So I want you guys to know that we are going to keep to our promise. Even the financial aspect of it, where you are supposed to have remunerations, we are working on that, because at the end of the day, the people who have attended the meetings as at the number of times would go through that process and would have that process given out to you in due course. So you all, you have tried, we have seen your efforts, and I'm very sure you have also seen our efforts from our own headquarters here. So I just wanted to let you know that we are still here, and you guys are still in progress. Whatever you're doing, take it seriously and know that the result of what we have taken all these weeks to do is about to be displayed. So it's just like we all say that uh, we are coming to the end of the journey for this first phase.
Yeah.
For this first phase, because it is in phases. So for this first phase, we are coming towards the end of the phase. So I appreciate your stay, and you are all welcome. If there is anything you want to confirm, you have my page there, you have my mail. My mail address is there, my mailbox is open. Let me have those questions and I will attend to them. And also, immediately after this, I would want all of you who are in the process or who have been in the process of sharing those flyers and getting people to register for the contest to send me how the report of what you have done so far on the field. How many people you have registered so far, what are the problems you have encountered, and so on and so forth. So I will want to have that on my page. I won't want to take Mr. Tefa's time so much. I want you guys to continue the business of the day. Mr. Tefa, I
Yes.
appreciate all of you and I wish you the best as we get towards the end of this process. Thank you very much and God
Thank-
bless you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Mhm.
Thank you to wonderful HR for that brief information. I believe it was necessary, and I believe we've all understood one or two. So I won't just take much time again, Mr. Tefa. I'm sure we've taken much of your time. Apologies for that. Please, you can go ahead with the lecture
Uh,
now.
all right. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Welcome once again to this wonderful training. I am very excited because Three Piece Media has shown that it is an organization that is actually ready to open the door for people to explore the frontier of knowledge, because this training is a training that, if it were to be actually charged, or if it were to have a cost or price tag, it will be extremely expensive to undergo, because training like this are paid for because of the knowledge that is being obtained. So Trippies Media, like I earlier said, should be commended. All trainees should show appreciation, because you are not paying anything for the training. Rather, Trippies Media is ready to give you something to take home, and then other benefits that will follow. So you need to be extremely grateful for that. Like I posted on the WhatsApp page today, I will be looking at television and campus reporting issues associated with campus reporting, the principles of campus reporting. This the training, like I said before, deals with the specifics. It is not a generalized training where a process is just generalized for all aspects. No, we have gone in depth, like when I talk about rural reporting, talked about conflict reporting, the processes, because all these reportings have different approaches. But the end, our product is to disseminate news, is to pass information to the audience. So at the end, it's the finished product is to get news across to the audience. But the processes or the techniques, the principles, and other factors to be considered might not even might they vary from one aspect of reportage to the other. Now, campus reporting deals with the type of reporting that comes from campuses, on campus report. We have various institutions. We have colleges of education, we have polytechnics, we have universities, and other associated or related institutions that have campuses. And a lot of things happen on campus. A lot of issues go on, academic issues, social issues, and other aspects that happen. Now, the institution as it is has an organogram, has a hierarchy, how activities are being done. And there are unions on campus. You have various unions, various associations, and then you have student union, and then other associations that are maybe sister associations that are on campus and so on. And a lot of activities happen in these unions, in these associations of interest. And it is expected that activities like that should of interest. There are certain activities that are important. At times there will be a cultural day, student day, SU elections, and maybe an interactive session with the management on a particular topic, or a conference organized for students, or workshop or excursion happening. Maybe some students from other institutions will bring their students for excursion in a particular institution. Maybe a student from secondary school can go to a university, polytechnic, or college of education for excursion, or the campus may go for excursion too. Maybe students of that uh, institution can go for excursion. Maybe student in Department of Mass Communication of a particular institution can go for excursion in a television or radio station to see practically how things are done. So campus reporting will cover all these aspects, maybe a matriculation, convocation, and other social activities and academic activities and all that. Why this aspect of reportage is very important is it helps to bring certain things that would help others to improve, and then will make people to see the importance of certain activities, because there are certain institutions that they have certain activities that are not common. Creativity has a point of beginning, has a source. Someone must ignite creativity. It doesn't fall from anywhere. So whatever you see started somewhere. All the things you see happening started from one or group of persons who came together and decided that something should be done in this way, or a single person that sat and thought about a particular concept and felt this is the best way to modify that concept to make potent impact. So there may be some aspects of creativity that certain campuses might be displaying that others don't know. So campus reporting would expose that, would reveal that, will make other people to know. It will make that to be obvious to others, and we learn that in this institution they have these facilities. People go there for excursion, so let us also improve on our own, because the essence of the media, television, is to bring development, because a lot of campuses have certain things, like I said, that are innovative, that are creative, that other institutions don't have. It's not that they are not willing to adopt any system that would help promote their institutions, but they have not actually seen anything like that to learn from. So by the time you cover an event, or this event happening on campus, you will be able to bring out what can help others to develop their system, and then pass useful information as well. Some of you undergoing this training are students in various institutions such as universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, then other institutions of higher learning. So you are expected to cover events and send to three-piece media. There are a lot of events that happen in these institutions, so that you cover whenever there's a matriculation going on, you do a coverage, you get the exact information about the head of the institution, who is the head of the institution, how many students are being matriculated, the speech on matriculation, and then interview with parents, some parents, the parents who normally attend matriculation of their children. So you can do a kind of vox pop, just getting the opinion on the matriculation on the institution. What do you see in the institution that you allowed your son or daughter to attend? And then you get their opinion from that. Then you interview some staff, uh, some academic staff or non-academic staff after the matriculation. So you get that report and you submit it to be edited and disseminated. Then when convocation is also going on, you do the same and get the necessary shots using your camera, your phones or cameras. If you have other conventional cameras or phones, you get the shots, get the recordings, do the appropriate interviews, get the program. In any event on campus, you get the program to know the program of events, what happened, what is that, and then you get the names of personalities or principal staff, the names of the Senate. The university Senate is there, then the management board is there in colleges of education and polytechnics, then it's the Senate is in the university. So where it's necessary, you get the exact names of the uh, of the people involved. You know that professors are always there as vice chancellors in universities. So you cannot address a prof as Mr. or Doctor. You know that universities strictly are being headed by professors. So you take that into consideration too. So that once you're doing your report about that, you should know that you cannot say Doctor Osman is Prof. Osman. That is what it is. Because once a doc is the vice chancellor of the university, then it seems something is wrong. Because the NUC criteria for being a vice chancellor is that you must be a professor. So it is very, very important to take certain things into consideration. So once you're trying to do a campus reporting, you should be conversant with the system of that campus. University operations are different from polytechnic operations and colleges of education. The School of Nursing, School of Midwifery, and all that. They have a different way of operation, and the way their own structure is being done is not always the same. So you should know in a college of education what is the name of the head, because you have the provost in the college of education, you have the rector in a polytechnic, you have the vice chancellor in a university. So you should be able to understand the names of the head of institutions so that you won't use a VC, you won't be addressing the provost as the VC of a college of education, or addressing the VC as the provost of a university, or addressing the provost as a rector of a college of education. So these terms are supposed to be understood as well, so that in doing your report, you will know how to address them using these terms. And then you also know their way of operation. How is it some institution we say it's like college of education, you have school of languages, school of that, and then in the universities and other institutions, they have the name they call. Some in the university you hear of faculty of this, and then you should know to address, you should know the terms used, which that is why before this research began deeply, I mentioned, if I talked about research, I talked about research. That is, you need to ask questions intensively to be acquainted with any information that you don't have, anything that you don't have adequate knowledge about. You don't need to be assuming. Like I have said, journalists are not supposed to be people who will be assuming. I thought it would work. I felt it that I thought it would have to know. You shouldn't be thinking or feeling something would be like that. You should be sure so that you won't be making avoidable mistakes. There are some mistakes that are avoidable that happen because of our negligence and ignorance. So some mistakes can be avoidable. So you try to get this information very well. And in campus reporting, every institution has a public relation unit, that is PR. They have a public relation officer. All institutions do have that. Now, the essence of having a public relation officer is to relate information, to receive correspondence for the institution, to also release information from the management to the student and staff, or the school to the student and staff. So all these are done in the PR office. So it is an information management center of that institution to ensure that information is being obtained and managed, and any information that they see that would be injurious to the institution, such information is being suppressed. It's not allowed to go out, or it will be edited or distorted so that it would not actually cause any damage. So in campus reporting, the reporter must work in line, must work closely with the PR, the public relation officer, rather, the PRO of, that is what is being called the public relation officer in the higher institution. Must work with the PRO. So they have a public relations office or unit or department. So you must work with the public relation officer to be able to get access to certain information, because he is the person that can be able to make certain impact, can be able to grant interviews, can be able to open ways for interviews to be granted, can be able to open doors for you to have access to certain people to conduct certain interviews. And then the purpose of your interview will be made known, I mean, of your coverage, that is at the end of the training. Three-piece media will definitely issue identity cards for their reporters or correspondents, so that they can present the ID cards anywhere they want to get information. Because once you have an ID card as a reporter, you are allowed access to any event, except if it is confidential or classified events, or events that are not supposed to have the press presence, that journalists might not be allowed, or maybe selected journalists, maybe, or few, or maybe those who are strictly invited, as it do happen in some cases. But where that does not imply, you present your ID card and explain your essence. In campus reporting, you must not necessarily be a student of that institution before you can do that. You can be an outsider, but still go to the campus. You know, campuses, once you enter in, there are security, campus security, or the institution security that are always at the gate. You do a proper introduction that you are a reporter, present your ID card, you work with Trippies Media, and you're here to cover the convocation, the student union election, or one or two activities that might be going on. You go there, you meet the PR. The first person you meet the PRO, not PR. You meet the PRO, Public Relation Officer. That is how it is being called. So you meet the Public Relations Officer, and you communicate with the person about your intention. Just like I say before, anywhere you go, you try to identify yourself with the authority, with those who are in charge, so that you will be guided accordingly. You can't just go into any institution and start working there, taking shots, and then no, you should have a point of contact. Why this is very important, so that if anything goes wrong, you will be protected. Because once you just enter and start doing things without seeking the consent of anybody and anything goes wrong, you'll be on your own. The institution will deny that they don't know you, that you didn't report yourself to anybody. But once you come, you go in, you report yourself, you tell them, introduce yourself, rather, that this is who you are, like that, and they take note of you. And if anything eventually goes wrong, at least they will take responsibility that actually they gave you the permission. So you won't be blamed for in case of any uncertainty. So once you get to any campus, you ensure that the PRO is aware. So if it is something that you will be taking to the dean, student affairs, or whoever is in charge of the affairs of students, if it is an event that requires students, you will be actually told, because there are certain activities on campus that the institution might not want the media to cover, or such things to be on the media. So they will do everything possible to prevent such to happen. With the advent of social media, there are certain things that once they happen, they go on social media. At least that they will consider it as not on their side. At times you see an institution denying that although that happened, it didn't officially come from them, or they didn't grant anybody permission to do that. So they will just absolve themselves from any blame. That is what happens in some cases where information is being disseminated or shared or transmitted when they are not involved, directly involved. That is the reason some organization will come up and deny. They will tell you a particular organization distances itself from the report. It's not that the report is not accurate, though, but because it was not officially released by the organization, maybe someone found their way into the records and had to bring that to the public. So the organization will deny not releasing that it's not officially come from them. But you see, they won't sue the media organization, or they won't put any litigation against the media organization, because they know that the information is true, though, but because it was not officially released by them, they will deny knowing anything about that. Because where any information is being released by any media organization that is not genuine, that is false, that is defamatory in nature, you see that such media organization will suffer in terms of legal battles or litigation. They will be sued for defamation and for falsehood. There will be a lot of cases that will come up. So where it is the right information, correct information, but not authorized to release that, and it goes to the media, the institution may just dissociate themselves from that and claim that it did not officially come from them, so they're not part of it. So before you do any of these things, you try to get to the appropriate person. you get to the PRO, and then it takes you to the Dean Student Affairs or to whoever is in charge of that, and then they will now tell you what to do. Okay, this is how you can go about this. This is where you can do this type of shots. We don't want them to be on air. And this is the way you can cover. These are the people that should be interviewed. This type of dressing should not be reported. This kind of attire should not appear, and maybe certain structures within the institution should not be covered and transmitted or disseminated. So you will be directed and given instruction on what to do and how to do it. So even campus reporting has processes, has procedures, has ethics. So you must do the right thing. Otherwise, if you just go into any campus and then you start taking shots, start videoing anything, then calling people to interview, ask you, who are you in the first place? Who grants you the permission? Who did you meet? You understand? So you must identify yourself so that you won't be seen as an enemy. So once you go, you report and you tell them your purpose on campus, you will be taken through. But if you are a student or a staff of that institution, it will be easy for you to do certain things because everybody there is familiar with you and all that. But still, you must be careful because there are certain things that until the school authorize the media through the PRO to be disseminated, anyone who reviews such information will be in trouble. If you are whether you are a student or a staff, so it's not every activity on campus that is being uh, exposed. For instance, if um, if an examination malpractice is being done in an institution where the student cheating an exam is being caught, and maybe the person is suspected to might have been assisted by a staff or a lecturer, and the process is still under investigation because the although the student is being caught, but and they maybe found that there were leakages. Maybe uh, the questions or the question papers leaked, and the student had access to that, and they claim that a particular staff or lecturer is responsible for the leakage, and the claim is just a suspicion because anybody, someone who doesn't like you, can accuse you falsely of what you have never done just to get you trapped. So it will anybody who writes and then say that a lecturer or the particular staff is responsible for leaking that for, or then you will be in trouble because even the school has not officially given a statement on that. So you cannot just write a story about an activity that is still under investigation in that aspect. If a student is caught cheating, uh, until this institution, this if it is in the university, the disciplinary committee or this university senate decides to pass a verdict. Because normally, when students are caught and staffs or lecturers are involved, a panel is being set for investigation. The staff is being investigated or called for hearing. The student is being, and like that, then a report and then a final statement will be issued. So if the institution or the university finds them guilty, a report will be given because the evidence will be obtained, and that is when you can officially pass that information to, because it has been officially released, it has been officially stated. So in that aspect, you can be able to pass. there are sensitive issues that one must be careful in reporting. You don't just rush to say something without adequate investigation. That is the reason, even when security agencies arrest criminals, they don't just say the person is a criminal or terrorist. You hear suspected terrorist, suspected armed robber, suspected that, because in the process of investigation, the person can be vindicated. In the process of investigation, the person can be found innocent. So they cannot tag the person a terrorist or tag the person an armed robber until proper investigation is being completed. It is after proper investigation have been completed and the evidence is very glaring that certain verdict can be passed. And at times they will tell you they still that the person will be sued to court or taken to court once investigation is being completed. So by the time investigation might have been completed, enough evidence might have been gathered that will nail the person on the cross. The person will be crucified. So once the court passes her judgment or its judgment on that person as a criminal, as a terrorist, then it is an established fact that the person is a terrorist. So the use of words matters in reporting too. You don't just accuse someone who is still under investigation. You have to be careful. So you shouldn't be in a hurry to report certain things, because once you do that, if you are a student or a staff, if you're a student, you might be expelled or suspended. If you are a staff, you might lose your job, you might be dismissed, or your appointment might be terminated, or you may have demotion or your salary slashed. So you must be very careful. You need to be always sensitive and ask questions so that you will not be a victim of this. You shouldn't act and claim you didn't know, that you were ignorant of the situation. You are being aware with uh, the opportunity to ask questions at all times, and be sure to follow the right steps, to follow the right directions, to follow what is expected to be done, so that you will be able to do the right thing. So there are other information that you can get them without much stress, like a union government election where a particular person emerged as winner. You can cover that and say a particular institution had a student union election, and this person emerged, and in his address or in his appreciation speech, the person encouraged this and said that. Then the dean student affairs, who was part of the process of the election, or the chairman, as it would be, stated this and that, discourage students from being in the social vices and all that. So your report in that aspect would help a lot to learn from and see the need to desist from certain things. Then where there is an innovation, maybe a particular institution has a new structure on campus, a new library, a new sports facility. You cover that and bring. The reason for that coverage is to encourage other institutions to do same. People learn from what they watch on TV. Oh, so this institution that we see as nothing could do this, then we have to do better. So they will be challenged. So news report challenge people, challenge institutions, challenge organizations. When people watch what other people are doing, what other institutions are doing, they feel challenged and want to step up their game, want to step up their standard to be better than what they see those they consider as nothing to do or are doing. So such things challenge them to do better or spur them to do better. So you have to ensure that you get these things and put them to the public so that it will encourage development. The TED Fund has been executing projects in government institutions at state and federal levels. So you can cover to let people know the impact of the government in institution development. So you can bring the structures, take short, interview people, and get the story up, and then you put that. So there are a lot of stories that can be obtained on campus. So you need to do that. News stories are everywhere. Very important stories on campus. So maybe there's a sport competition between academic staff and non-academic staff. As the sports director, organize that to help staff in their physical build-up or development or health and all that. So exercise help in the body, help the body. So when you bring such stories, they help by encouraging others to exercise. So it's important to source for news and get news because in an institution there are many areas where you can obtain news. Maybe a particular department has obtained new equipment or new facilities, maybe electrical electronics engineering department, uh, lab technology department, mass communication department. So you do a report of that, interview the HOD, interview the staff there, some staff and students, what they feel about the new innovation or development on campus and what they will stand to benefit. And then the staff too will be there. And then you get a report because that, like I say, would encourage others to also do more and see that they meet uh, the standard or do better than their contemporaries. So campus reporting is very, very important to journalism, to media. So you have to take this seriously. If you are on campus or not, you try to see how you can get campus news, campus stories that will motivate others to do well, that will entertain and inform, because on campus there are stories that will educate, there are stories that will inform people about certain things, and then there are stories that will definitely entertain as well. Thank you.
Yes, I'm now on mute. Thank you so much, Mr. Tefa, for that wonderful class, and thank you for making it brief so that we can walk according to time. And
You're welcome.
a lot of comments so far about how wonderful the facilitation has been. Uh, Maybe I could take a few of them just to show that how grateful the correspondents are for your wonderful class. This is from Angela. Angela says, "Thank you for the wonderful class." Atatan Abdul Karim says his session is really enlightening and well presented. Chudung said, "That's true. Well done, Mr. Tefa." And a host of others as well sent their appreciation to you for the wonderful presentation so far. So I think
Thank
now we
you.
understand that we've opened the floor for the comments to come in or for questions that anyone might have. This is the time to ask those questions so that Mr. Tefa can do justice to all of them. So I will be waiting for the questions. I haven't seen much questions. I believe today's class was well understood because it's such praise and appreciation that I see in the comments so far. Mr. Tefa, this is Obioma. It says thank you for the class and some other people. I'm seeing some questions that has to do with the concerns about the some of the things the HR said while he spoke with us about the flyers that were sent to some states, and some people are saying they haven't received those flyers yet. So all effort has proved abortive in getting the flyers to their states. We understand that. We'll continue to work with that as well. Please just use the WhatsApp group. It's a very effective platform to share that story. And there's some people that are telling us that for their states they haven't received any at all. We're still working. It's still in progress. We're going to send across to you as and when due, when we sort that out. Um, I believe we don't have questions, Mr. Tefa, if I must say. Um,
Mhm.
it's wonderful so far. So thank you so much for your time, Mr. Tefa. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it so much. And just before we wrap up the conversation today, just to remind you to fill the attendance. It's a pinned comment. You can find the link as a pinned comment in the comment section here, and also to follow us on all our social media platforms, engage with all our content, and share your views, your comments, and your wonderful opinion with us on our platforms. They're all welcome and appreciated. And also, we run two platforms concurrently: Afro Connect TV and Ecstasy TV, both on YouTube and on all various social media platforms. And I'm sure, Mr. Tefa, as well, you can get him on a social media account. I was going to ask you to tell us your social media accounts where we can continue, because one day this class is going to end, and I'm sure our correspondents would want to keep the relationship with you in one form or another. You can just perhaps to end this today's class, you might share where they can continue to reach out to you should they desire to do so.
Yes, I will put my link on the group. Yes.
Okay. Okay. We'll be expecting that. I
Thank
will be expecting that as well. So I
you.
think we
Yes,
can
sir.
call it a wrap right now, Mr. Tefa. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you to all our correspondents and our reporters across Nigeria. We appreciate your time, and we do not take it for granted. Until we have our sixth session on Saturday, we hope you continue to stay well and stay safe. Have a
Right.
good evening.
Right. Thank you. Stay safe
Yeah.
too,
Bye.
Adewale.
All right. Bye bye.
Right.
Yeah.